going on YouTube, Gen X? So I did have a conversation a couple of days ago with the older gentleman who understood my frustrations. I've already talked about how a lot of your older black generation have that Philip Banks complex, and I talked about this a while ago. It's that sort of forgetting where they were. So they look at the younger generation and they write all of them off as those that don't get it. They're not worth your time or whatever. And for a lot of them, they at one point in time were the same type of people we are. Right, so going back to the whole Philip Banks analogy, if you watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I grew up on the show. Philip, which was the dad, the judge, always had a problem with Will, because of his attitude, his demeanor, his laissez-faire attitude, and this was a constant reoccurring sort of theme. And it was the wife Vivian. Even after they changed her, right? Remember, before she was dark-skinned, then she was light-skinned or whatever. She always reminded him from time to time that, at one point in time, you were exactly how he was. And Philip would concede to her statement. But yet, if you looked at how he treated Will from time to time, you had that sort of, I just can't understand you, and you're this, you're that, and the third. And I know that's a little bit extreme, but that's how I feel about, your older generation of black folks. It is what it is. So when you talk about barring progress and not being where we need to be, a big part of that is that. No one is saying that the burden is on them to reach back. I'm not saying that at all, right? But as I get older, and I understand that there's people younger than me, a big part of it is just saying, hey, I'm here, I'm available. Now, you have to put the effort to try to get at me, but no, I'm here. This is how you get in contact with me. I don't have all the time in the world. So to me, it's a mutual relationship where you have that sort of, we seek information and you're looking to give back. The burden is on me in terms of the younger one to really contact you and go out of my way to try to pick your brain and see how you can help me in my progression, right? And as the older generation, I feel like the burden is on them to say, hey, if you want to get in contact with me, this is how you do it. Hey, I'm here, I'm visible. Going back to my undergrad days, we had a decent amount, not even a decent amount, but we had black faculty. But you would have never known it because you just didn't know they existed. So it's one thing to know that they're there, right? But it's another thing to not even know they existed. And it really wasn't until I graduated that I understood that they were there. And you sit back and you say, well, granted, yeah, we should have, as a student, did a better job of trying to contact them and get in touch with them. But a big part was, hey, we didn't even know you were there. It's one thing if you see, Professor Johnson or whatever walking down the campus and you're like, hey, what's going on? Hey, young brother, I'm over here in this building. Contact me or email me or whatever. That's one thing. He's made himself visible and he said, hey, this is how you get in contact with me. I'm busy, but hey, if you want it, come get it, right? That's cool. That's what I'm talking about. But, for a lot of us, we didn't even get that. You had this sort of, I didn't even know you were there. Real talk. And it annoys me when I reflect because I look back and you look at your other smaller minority groups, whether they're religiously based or racially based or sexual orientation based or whatever, your LGBT community, and the faculty that was part of those communities or sympathetic or whatever were always more readily available. Right? So whatever Hispanic professors were on campus at the time, well, guess what? Right? There was that relationship with the Hispanic population. where you had this sort of, hey, I'm here, I want to come support you guys, and let's have this mutually exclusive relationship. Hey, I'm doing some research, you guys want some research hours? Or, hey, professor, we need an advisor, or, we need letters of rec. So they had this sort of open-ended relationship that we never had. And then you want to talk about, not having opportunities or whatever. I mean, you can only put so much blame on the younger generation. Right? Let a professor be gay or sympathetic or into the, whatever smaller communities make up the LGBT community, right? And you have that full support. So those students, as small of a number as they may be, know that they at least have faculty members that they can turn to, or a professor that they can turn to. Excuse me if you heard that loud noise. A helicopter flew over. We have a couple of army bases or whatever scattered around Southern California, so from time to time you do see helicopters or whatever. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So, for me, yes, it's definitely a gripe that annoys me. I mean, I don't care what it is. I've seen professors that were part of, white fraternities look back to the younger fraternity members and say, hey, what's going on? Right? And they have the, whatever greeting that they have or whatever, which was cool to me. But once again, you would never even know if your campus had any black professors at all. Because they were hiding, like, I'm doing me, and to me it's a problem, right? And I'm critical once again because I'm a little bit older. So now I'm in a position where, I still reach up in terms of, hey, can I get some help, some guidance or whatever, some direction? But I'm in a position now where I'm also reaching back. And I'm understanding that a big part of it is making yourself available. And for that crowd, I don't really see a lot of it. Truth be told. I really don't see it. So as I look back now, and obviously you're older, whatever, I can watch from a more critical eye, and I can, identify the black faculty on the campus, right, on the campuses that I've went to, and I ask myself, okay, but how readily available are you making yourself? That's a problem. You can't sit there and say, oh, they just have to go find me or whatever. I mean, it's difficult, for a young 18, 19-year-old to walk on a predominantly white campus or whatever. They're struggling, right? And to me, the least you can do is to say, hey, I'm over here. We understand that you're busy, work or family. That's understandable. But the simple act of saying, hey, I'm available if you need me. Right, you got to be persistent, but here's how you contact me. Here's how you connect with me. I want to help out. Let me know what's going on. That goes a long way, but we don't have that. So yes, in a nutshell, that is where my gripe stems from. Not going to lie to you. It's almost like a slap in the face. There was one point, especially towards the end of my undergraduate experience, where, there was one black professor. He would walk right past you like he didn't see you at all. He would walk straight past you. He looked uppity as well, right? Walk straight past you, and you sit there and you're like, for reals? We're on a college campus. It's not like you walking on the street. It's not like you walking down the block and there's some random nigga. And it's that sort of shit that I'm talking about. And I can fucking walk down the street, right, and some Hispanic professor, right, who's teaching in the Chicano Studies Department, he's like, hey, what's going on? Because he's just happy to see another fucking minority on campus. And he makes himself more accessible than a black faculty member. So it is what it is. So yes, that's where my gripe stems from. Y'all take it easy. Take care. God bless.